Welcome back to the second part of this lecture, which is on sanitation and sewage disposal. Wastewater is any water that has been adversely affected in quality by anthropogenic influence. It compromises liquid waste discharged by domestic residents, commercial properties, industries, agriculture, and can encompass a wide range of the potential contaminants and concentrations. A sludge is a solid that has been separated from liquid waste by sedimentation. Wastewater or sewage can come from the human waste are known as a black water, usually from the lavatory, septic tank discharge, a sewage treatment plant discharge, and the other one is a washing water also, which is known as a gray water or come from the rainfall collected from the roofs and so on. Groundwater infiltrate into the sewage water and surplus manufactured liquid also is considered as a gray water. Urban rainfall runoff from the roads, car parks, roofs and sidewalks and pavement, and oil animal feces, litters will be another kind of wastewater. And man-made liquid, which is illegal disposal of the pesticide or oil used, as well as highway drainage are considered as a wastewater. There are some definitions I need to emphasize on that here, which is a sewage. Normally, sewage is a liquid or solid waste carried off in sewer or drainer. It includes domestic, municipal, or industrial liquid waste products disposal. And usually it comes from or go through the pipes or sewer or similar structure. But sewer itself is a waste pipe that carried away sewage or surface water to the provide drainage. A sewerage system is a system of interconnection between the sewers. Sewerage is removal of waste materials by means of sewerage system. That's all different between different type of the sewerage and sewerage system. What are the causes of poor excreta disposal? Lack of adequate water supplies, low economic level of the community, social and cultural or demographic factors. What are the principles in design of the excreta disposal system? One of them is health aspects. The system should prevent the escape of the pathogenic organism and the pollution surface and groundwater. The other one is social cultural aspect. The method of disposal should be acceptable to the local community. And the other aspect is engineering, which it should be simple to construct, use and maintain and locally acceptable. The other one is economic accept. The system must be cheap, easily constructed with the local material and materials. In this slide, I'm going to talk about excreta disposal system. The functional considerations are normally from local collection, general collection, and goes to the treatment system, and at the end is a final disposal. Not all excreta disposal system will follow the same stage. Another thing is construction consideration with or without water carriage, or mechanical or versus manual flushes. The most important things about this slide, which is talk about latrine, is a structure which is constructed for the purpose of deposition and eventual of collection of excreta. The location of latrine, especially in rural area, is very important with respect to the possibility of pollution of water sources or water supplies. Most important factor for consideration for building latrine is the slope of the land, the level of the groundwater, and the permeability of the soil, which is transmitted through the fluids. An excreta disposal facility for rural areas should be acceptable to the people, simple enough for unskilled labor to build using locally available materials, and cheap enough for every household to be able to afford one. The facility should collect, treat, and dispose of fecal waste at the same location without requiring the manual handling of the excreta at any stage. The facility should not cause any nuisance or be accessible to flies or domestic animals, and there should not be any contamination of nearby water wells used for drinking. Latrine should be located downhill of the water source and should be at least 35 meters from a high yielding well. In this slide, I'm going to talk about excreta disposal in urban areas. In modern days, rural and mainly urban areas have piped water supplies, cisterns, flush latrine connected either to the septic tank or a sewage system, which is commonly found in Malaysia. Hence, the water carriage system are used. And this is advantageous as there is no actual handling of the excreta. The main problem is the continuous supply of piped water needed. The principal use in large-scale sewage treatment plant is the separation of the soils or solids or perhaps sludge from the fluids in the sewage. The solids are rendered harmless and reduced in mass by means of anaerobic and aerobic decomposition, as well as using the chlorination to the process of the system. The system employs mechanical means to treat large volume of sewage to acceptable environmental standards using both primary and secondary treatment process, give a cumulative percentage of removal of about 80 to 95% of suspended solid, biological oxygen demand, which call it BOD, and bacterial counts depending on the biological oxidation process adopted. The end product of the sludge can be used as a fertilizer, and the treated water will be discharged to the river or the surface water. The type of sewage and its characteristics is important to the public health due to organic or non-biodegradable material, and also the extreme pH waste from the acid and alcohol manufacturing, and toxic waste through the metal plating, cyanide production and manufacturing, and also solids and emulsion of the industries such as like paper manufacturing and food stuff and so on. Another thing is agricultural drainage, direct and diffuse. In some urban areas, sewage is carried out separately in sanitary sewage or runoff from the streets is carried through the storm drains. Access to either of these typically through a manhole or perhaps to the surface runoff. And during high precipitation periods, all sanitary sewer will be overflow and can occur and cause public health issue, especially during the disaster or flood. Sewage may drain directly into the major watershed with minimal or no treatment. When untreated, sewage can have serious impact on the quality of environment and on the health of the population. Pathogen can cause a variety of the illness. Some chemicals pose a risk at even a very low concentration and can remain a threat for a long period of time because of bioaccumulation issues in human or animal tissues, like bioaccumulation in Minamoto incident. For the wastewater quality, we need to look at the dissolved oxygen to check the BOD, COD, and then total suspended solid, and all will follow the specific standard and regulation. The other issue is bacteria, which is indicator of the how much bacteria is in a solid waste, and indicator and disinfection of the chlorine residual gel or fecal coliform, and also look at the Escherichia coli and colony counts based on MPN. We'll conclude the lecture, which is on understanding on the treatment of the sewage and sanitation. In a treatment plant, the waste is passed through a series of the screens, chambers, and chemical process to reduce the bulk and toxicity. And during primary treatment, a large percentage of the suspended solids and inorganic material will be removed from the sewage. The focus of secondary treatment is reducing the organic material by accelerating natural biological process, and tertiary treatment is necessary when the water will be reused and perhaps we want to have 99% of solids or chemical removed from the waste.